Okay, so welcome to our webinar today, talking about the future of user adoption and training, and our partnership from Fudgelearn with our colleagues at ClickLearn. So before we continue, please, put questions in the chat, ask away, and we'll be happy to answer them as we go along. So I'll just start with our agenda today. So we'll kick off with some introductions, and we'll focus in on the partnership with Fudge and ClickLearn. Then we'll talk about some of the training and documentation challenges that arise in transformation programs into enterprise systems, and then how ClickLearn and Fudge working together can solve these challenges. Then we're going to live demo, and then we'll focus in on some questions and answers at the end. So, as I said, feel free to ask any questions as we go along. So without ado, I will let my colleague at ClickLearn, Mark, make his introduction. Mark, over to you.
Thank you so much, Tony, and thank you for having me here today. Yeah, so my name is Mark Olesen, Head of Sales and Partner Management here in ClickLearn. So I maintain the sales, and I also maintain our relationship with partners, of course. Been in the ERP background in the last 13, 14 years. So know a lot about how it is to sit on the other side of the table, implementing, migrating, changing a lot of things without having any documentations. And hopefully that's what we can help with today and talk about as well.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mark. And I'm Tony Cooks. I'm the CEO and founder of Fudgelearn. As you may or may not be aware, we specialize in user adoption specifically, and enabling organizations to maximize their investment on predominantly Oracle, ERP, HCM, and other SaaS applications by using tried and tested training methods, and also, latest technology, including ClickLearn. Obviously, that's why we're here today, and how we blend that together with other products such as Oracle's guided learning. So, let's talk about why we came together. So, obviously, ClickLearn has a particular solution that, as an organization, we're very keen, and we certainly support with our customers, and we understand how that not only to save our customers money and time, but also enhances the experience for the user community, and how we can blend that together to really bring out the best of return across multitude of learning solutions. So and you see this Venn diagram here, basically bringing ClickLearn and Fudgelearn together. It really does put our customers right in the middle of all of our services, and the focus of what we're looking to achieve, bringing in the latest innovation. Anything you wanted to add there, Mark?
Oh, I think it's spot on, right? I really appreciate the partnership here as well in terms of how we can use the Oracle guided learning you mentioned yourself, the ClickLearn piece of software, and your expertise and knowledge in terms of actually how do we build a user adoption strategy, how do we create it, how do we maintain it, so that we also know the methodologies of how it should be implemented and maintained as we go along, not just having another tool in the toolbox that we might also don't know how to use.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So some of the challenges that organizations face, we know that there's a large amount of implementations of ERP that fail due to a lack of user adoption. One of the biggest issues that senior management and executives have through their organizations is getting their staff to use the software correctly and engage with new products that add value to the organization. And certainly, with all of this, the challenge is how do we reduce, or how do organizations reduce the time it takes to develop learning content and make sure there's some value attached to it as well, not just for the go live of the implementation, but from that time beyond as well. And what we're looking to do as an organization is try and help to overcome some of those challenges, and they stem from behavioral change. And we see change management now as a very key element to any large enterprise transformation program. where we have in the cloud the adopt rather than adapt methodology. And that means that the organization's business processes are going to change as part of that implementation of the solution, meaning that behaviors have to change along with it. So obviously that's a massive challenge for any organization going through a large scale transformation program. Equally, in the cloud, we don't have the levels of flexibility that we perhaps once had with the on-premise solution. So just firing up an instance as and when we want. Those days are slightly behind us. But how do we give staff early sight of their solution? And equally, trying not to have content that's just there for go live only. I mean, that's the start of the journey, right? This is where you know, the users first see, you know, the system in anger live, but let's make content that can be used over and over again that's going to add value rather than just a one-time deal. Alongside that, it's about how we maintain it and how we can continually add the benefit of the change that your cloud solution is going to be going through, and therefore delivering that change into your user community as well. He says, trying to click forward on my presentation and failed. So how do we solve that problem? Well, really, with ClickLearn, it's a product that enables you to rapidly author your learning materials. We conservatively estimate the saving in time is around 60%. We think it's slightly more than that, Mark, don't we? But you know, that's our conservative estimation. And you know, obviously we look to bring together those different learning outputs and how you can blend that learning to support all the different types of users and types of people in their learning to create a blended solution that works for everyone, those left, right, and center of that bell curve. We're looking to create a safe environment. So where can users go to practice and practice and practice using the 3 modes that that ClickLearn will deliver, and that's the show me, try me, test me. I got it right this time, Mark. Show me, try me, and test me mode. I should read my presentation more often. And we're going to demonstrate that shortly. But along with that, there's other outputs and easy access that we're looking to achieve with our customers. We look to blend this all with Oracle's guided learning as well, and we're going to show you that as well. And then how you can take, you know, the content and use that across platform, because end-to-end processes aren't always catered for in one solution. So without further ado, we're going to move on to demonstrating the solution of ClickLearn. And I'm going to start off by, I'm just going to log into our instance. I had this problem earlier, didn't I, Mark? Let me come back out again and try logging back in. So I'm going to log into our Oracle instance here, and I'm going to access the presentation layer. So I'm going to talk about the presentation layer of ClickLearn, and then following that, Mark's going to demonstrate the authoring side of the product. So this is our home screen, and you can see at the top right here, we have a flashing beacon, which is an Oracle guided learning smart tip. And that will be able to navigate you from here to the ClickLearn library. Alternatively, we can click on the Oracle Guided Learning widget, and then we can link out from the widget to specific areas within the ClickLearn portal that we've created. So what I'm going to do is I'll just demonstrate clicking into the HCM content. So we're going straight from the Oracle solution, and that's now taking us into a demonstration portal where we've got HCM content there to present to the users. Equally, we can come from the guided learning widget and we can click on the procurement content, and that will take us directly to the procurement content within our portal. I'm going to open up our master portal here. This is one I made earlier, as they say. So I'm just going to take you into this portal. This is the presentation layer. So once you've recorded your content, this is where your users can navigate to find that learning content. You can also see that there's a content menu at the bottom. So I'm just going to reduce that. You can also contact the learning team through here as well. And this is all completely customized. So this is customized to look at our Fudgelearn look and feel right now. However, if you wanted a different look and feel, I'll just click on another learning portal, which is ClickLearn's Oracle Learning Portal. You can see there's a huge difference between the look and feel. So you can brand this presentation layer to suit your organizational branding, and make it very personal to your user community and your professional look and feel for your organization. So I'll just take you back to our portal. I'm going to go into our HCM area, and I'm going to follow through on the time and absences. Now, I've picked a time card view here purely because it's a fairly short piece of learning. So I won't take you through all these modes that have a lot of steps and a lot of complication to them. So what we're trying to do here is just really bring this to life for you. So I'm going to click on using a time card template, and immediately you will see here that this is taking us through the steps that have been recorded to guide you through using a time card template. Now, all of this, again, is customizable. You can add contextual information in here to demonstrate the process that you're trying to teach the user community. And this is all tailored to your organization, and your authors will be able to edit this accordingly. Whether you use us as your authors, or whether you decide to do some of this work yourself or a more blended approach, either way. So on the right here, you can see the outputs. Now we have a demo, so it's a passive watch and learn. Then we have a hands-on simulated practice, and then we have a knowledge check, which has got less support, but at least it then demonstrates that the user has taken on the learning that's been required here. And you can go back through these different elements whenever you wish. You can go back and practice again, and that's the benefit of it. As it's been a recorded piece of learning, we don't have lots and lots of data issues or data dependencies or access dependencies, because this has been recorded. It's safe. You can't break it. We're not reliant on an environment in this portal because it's already been authored and recorded. And that's one of the big benefits of ClickLearn. So I'll click on the demo instance. Hopefully you can hear the voiceover.
In this exercise, you will create a new time card using a pre-existing template. Click.
So I'm going to let the voice continue with no sound here, otherwise you won't be able to hear me. But fundamentally, this is now walking us through the process. And the beauty of this text to voice means that there's, how many voices are there, Mark, in ClickLearn that you can utilize?
So there are more than 700 voices to pick between, and then you can also translate it into 45 different languages at the moment. Yeah.
There you go. So you can pick a mixture of different voices, but the good thing is you can have the same voice throughout all your recording. You can edit the text and immediately replay that through the AI voice recorder, and then translate it into the languages that you may need for your user community as well. So I'll just let that finish for now, and then I'll go into the practice mode. Again, you'll get a voiceover that I'm going to turn off the speakers for that. And this one is a simulated view. So I'm going to be told what I need to do. So I've seen it, I'm now trying it, and I'm going to click on the time card, and I'm going to continue doing, the steps that I've been advised to do. So I'm putting the date in, I'm going to click the add button, follow through, use the template for my timesheet, hit the submit button, and then go back home. That's the end of the exercise. I can then give my feedback from a user perspective, and I can submit that feedback. Now I'm going to go into the knowledge check. And these are all from one recording. So the good news about this is you update it in one recording, it updates across all your outputs. And that's one of the big benefits as well. So
in this exercise,
again, I'm going to turn the voice off. And now this is me actually following the same process, but without any guidance, as you can see. I'm being told or advised what to do, but now I have to follow, and hopefully I can remember the steps here. Otherwise, I'm going to fail. But then maybe that's not a bad thing, right?
And
So,
if you want to, you can also click wrong here. Try and click on different areas of the place. So if you don't know where to go,
yeah,
now it will actually show you that you.
there you go.
So, and it's also possible to actually take the subtitles away and everything. You can customize this so it suits your needs in terms of how you want to test people.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to follow through the process, apply the template, hit submit, and I'll just try and click away. Oh, there we go. I've got reminded where the home button is again for you, Mark, just to prove your point. So that's the end of the exercise. And now you can see that I've been given a score where I've had certain areas that perhaps I didn't quite know what to do. And then I've passed because we know what the pass rate is, but then I can go back and do that again if I'm a particular user that wants to score really well. But the good news about the passing of this and the monitoring of this is analytics that sat behind this, so we can provide that information to the program team as part of the readiness assessments that you may need for your go live. So you know that the amount of users you've got, they've been through that transition, they've taken on that learning, and they've been successful. Anything more you wanted to add on that point, Mark?
No, I think the only thing in terms of the formats as well to share in terms of a support ticket case, etc. Right? You can specifically take any of these formats and then just send that one thing to the end users in terms of whatever support case you have. So it's not like you have to give them all the choices. You could say that the practice video will solve this for me, so that's what I'm going to send to you, Tony, and then I know the support case is completed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you've got these other formats that are output. So you've got Word, PDF, and PowerPoint. I'll just show you a Word version. So this has been set up based on our standards, but you can set this up based on your own templates and create those templates. We tend to use these as supporting material for classroom training. And as you can see, there's very clear step guides to these sort of exercise workbooks, if you like, for virtual or physical classroom delivery. Equally, on a PowerPoint presentation, you can take elements of this and build that around your instructor presentation, building in process flows, etc., add your instructor notes, etc., etc. So enables you to create classroom-based learning material very quickly, as well as simulated hands-on portal-based learning at the same time. And coming back to the point of the blended learning, supporting the different types of users that you're trying to engage with and you're trying to train as part of your adoption program. So that's the presentation layer. And I'm sure you're all quite keen to see what Mark's got to say about the authoring layer. So I'm going to stop sharing now, and I'm going to hand over to Mark, who is going to talk you through the authoring process.
Thank you. I'm just sending, I think I had to request here for some reason.
Yeah, I'm going to let you in. There you go.
Perfect.
I'm going to give you the power, Mark.
Yeah, I know you are not a big fan of that. I could see in here, but I enjoy it. So thanks a lot. Am I sharing my screen here? It says no.
Not quite yet.
Try again here. There we go. Perfect. So what we are going to do today is that we are going to look into the authoring part as well. So Tony just took us through everything you can do as an end user. I would like to show you actually how it is to be the guy who is creating it and maintaining it, and how fast and efficient that we can actually update and change anything. So when Tony comes back and complains and says this is not working for me, I can actually go in and instantly update it and make it available also for him. What you're looking at here is ClickLearn Studio. This is my authoring tool. So this is the application that it's called ClickLearn Studio. It's a desktop application, so we can install it instantly. It's really plug and play. And then from here, you could start creating these projects. So I have a project here in Oracle. What we typically see for customers is they have projects for finance, they create a project for the HR departments, they create it for field service, you name it, salespeople, expense management, and so on. And then inside each of these projects, you can then start to do your recordings. So what I would go and do here, I just need to have the top bar available for some reason up here. There we go. There we go. So I'm still sharing my screen, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's just go in here and create a Fudgelearn expense. In this case, I saw you did a bit about that before, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And now I will go in and actually go through the process, what I have to do to make sure that you know how to do it the next time as well. So ClickLearn is starting up now, and then we simply just go ahead and record. ClickLearn is not the typical screen recorder that you know from other applications. You will see a green box appearing, and it's because we are actually identifying field, we're identifying data, and when we click on it, ClickLearn will notice it, and it will then document everything that you presented before, Tony. So if I wanted to go in here and says I would like to create a new contact in this case, I simply just do the necessary information or fill it out, whatever I need to do from here. And every time we get this box, we can click on it, and then we can simply progress. So I can call it Mr. You can say today it's going to be Tony. Fill in his last name. Sorry. It's a Cook, right?
That's it.
That's it. I got it right. Perfect. Middle name, not sure. I can associate the account as well here. So you're gonna be associated to Sam Jones today, but I think you get the point here of everything that I'm doing will be captured, and that's kind of how we record with ClickLearn. Let's say that my process goes beyond, in this case, the Oracle applications. I also want to show Tony that we actually have the Oracle Cloud Tour next week, and I think he should go and join the one in London. So ClickLearn again follows me from Oracle into now Oracle's webpage here, and now we can register for the event in London, and this will also be a part of my documentations. We could also export a lot of things into Office. As an example, I know Excel is something that we still use a lot here, right? So I have an Excel spreadsheet open. And again here, ClickLearn will swap between the different connectors we have for Oracle, for web applications, and now in this case for Office 365. And then you see the green boxes appearing again, means I'm ready to record, and it understands what I'm doing. Let me just stop the recording here. There is a lot of steps, or 14 steps in total. And then let me just go back to the studio part, and let's review what it is that we just recorded. So what ClickLearn is doing right now, it's producing the 7 different formats that Tony showed us before. So instantly I have them available. In our case, we call them show me, try me, and test me. As you could see before, it's called practice, demo, and I can't remember what was the last term you used as well, Tony.
I think that was knowledge check.
Knowledge check, yes. So that's
Yeah.
the test me here, right?
Yeah.
So again, you can configure this, you can change it to your specific needs, right? But now everything is perfectly captured and perfectly cropped. I have an image, I know where to go, and you can see everything that is bold in this recording. It's because we know the data field. And that's also the thing that when we're mentioning in terms of maintaining and updating it, We can actually go in and replay all of this. And then we know if the field is available or not, if our training and documentation still works, and they're up to date on the latest version of the latest release from Oracle. Let's say this is there is maybe not a lot of details in here. So I would like, in this case here from the beginning, to make sure that Tony remembers to have his systems open. Before starting this training, right? So everything can be changed. Everything, you can add additional information. You could add hyperlinks. You could add a link to another video explaining why it is we're doing what we want to do. And then again, all 7 formats are instantly updated. So if I just take the show me video now here, so as you can hear, now I have a female voice in here, but everything is perfectly cropped, and you will now see ClickLearn go step by step through everything that I just did before. So this is how fast we can actually generate the try me videos, the simulations, the testing part, the showing part, and also the Word, PDFs, and PowerPoints that we can deliver. Is there anything in terms of the formats, authoring, editing part here, Tony, that you would like me to touch base on?
Well, I think one of the key things to perhaps talk about is that, you know, we're in the world of cloud now, right? So nothing sits still. So what do you do? You know, let's say, for example, you've created some content and we've got a new Redwood interface coming along that changes, you know, the way that the system behaves and how you transact. How would you deal with that?
So let's say I'm now sitting with this process here, right? And you're telling me there's a change, there's an update, there's something, right? Either I can go in and replay it, but that we will have another session around. But let's just say I would like actually to edit this, right? And I don't want to re-record it. So I know from now where it says entering in your last name in this case, I would like to actually re-record or add maybe an annotated screenshot here where I want to add more value. So from here, I can, in the middle of a process, go back to my system and then start from specifically this step. And then we can also copy paste, you know, move them around afterwards. What I want to do in this case is I want to take an annotated screenshot, right? Because we might want to add a lot of value into one screen capture. So this is another way of doing it. So what you will see here is that now we have added this annotated screenshot into my recording. And then I could go in and say, I would like to edit this part here. And then we have the annotated editor. So now I could actually go and say, in this specific place here, I want you to entering in the country, the address line 1, and then the city. And from there, you need to go to the home button again as well. And then I can save and close. So now I have done, in the middle of a process, I have added this with these 4 steps as well. So you can do that by the annotated. I can also individually go in and change anything. So it's very, very efficient. And again, it's through all 7 formats one more time. So if I go in and watch the video, if I do anything now, it's all updated and we can deploy it out to the end users. So that's what I would say in terms of being cloud-based and up to date and making sure you really decrease the amount of support tickets, requests. Everybody is telling you the system is not working. I don't know how to. It's not what I see on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Here is really something that I believe is extremely strong to prevent, as I call them, excuses for not using the system.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm quite keen to, while we're here, just I'm going to run this poll for everyone that's on the call today. I just want to understand for the people here, what's what are their biggest training and adoption challenges, and hopefully I've covered some pretty big ones here. I'm going to leave this up for just a short while to get people's opinion on the call. Just to see what everyone else is facing out there in the land of enterprise systems. So I'm going to leave it up for about another 20 seconds. If you wouldn't mind giving me your thoughts, it'd be very helpful. And perhaps we can talk around some of those issues that people are facing. I'll give it 10 more seconds. Get clicking with those fingers, people. Okay, so I'll get that stopped just now. And fundamentally, we've got driving behavioral change. And I think that the big ones here are providing early sight of the system, access to safe environments for people to practice, and the time to develop the material itself. So, I mean, how does ClickLearn deal with some of those issues, Mark? Because obviously getting a safe environment, I think that's one of the big ones we find in the cloud. I mean, certainly for a lot of the projects that we're involved in, we set up a training environment. We're sharing an environment with perhaps the UAT or the SIT teams. And at that point, we've got to ring fence data. We've got to set up users, make sure the access is right, make sure the approvals are flowing, make sure all the user accounts we've got are operating in the right way. And then we train using that environment. Now, there's a lot of risks and dependencies attached to that. And equally, we can't let people back in after that training session, because we've got to use it all over again for the next set of users that we need to train out. So having this safe haven, this environment, is a real game changer, I think, don't you?
Absolutely, and that's also why we have these try me and test me videos, right? Also, as we said, we're all coming from a long ERP background here, right? And I think some of the biggest challenges is always either in early phases where you want people to test a little bit, but we cannot give them access to the test systems. We cannot give them access to the production environment because we're afraid of them breaking something. So that we have the opportunity to early phases actually bringing in the try me and the test me, where they can't break anything. We can control how we deliver it. We can deliver it through a portal. We can send it. We can upload them wherever we want to. I think it's really, really key. And it can also be in terms of developing and changing stuff as well, where you are not satisfied. And then you still need to kind of go through test scenarios where we want to make sure that we have agreed between you or the client or the partner and the customer that this is what we are going to implement before we simply deploy these new features and functions, right? Or new applications into the business systems. So that has a huge value in terms of not allowing everybody into the back end of what they can sometimes break.
Yeah.
That here we can really get the feeling of it. We can see it. We can, as we call it here, try it and test it, and make sure that people are comfortable, because that is some of the key things as well for the end users. It's uncertainty. We don't know. Are we breaking anything? Are we doing anything wrong? You can't. And you have the knowledge when we go live now as well.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's certain users that will want to get their hands actually on a system, our big heavy hitting finance people, for example. But it's for the vast majority of the users, this is a very, very good option. So in terms of, the feedback process, you've got obviously authors creating content, you need feedback from your SMEs, etc. How do you manage that with the product?
Yeah, so I think in terms of all that, it's where the KPIs comes into play, right? That's also what I'm opening up here. So making sure, so in this case here, right, we have set it up from 17th of February to 18th of March. We're testing it out on 29 users. So let's look at the engagement level, right? Which departments are they coming from? Who are the top active users? What are they actually looking for? Are they reading the stuff? Are they using the videos? Or are they actually going in and activating the assistance with the Oracle guided learning and want that kind of help and information?
Mm-hmm.
In this case, I can see, sorry, Tony, but we are not using the search terms in here. But if we actually start searching about things, that also has a lot of value in terms of like, what should we prioritize? If we have, 50 users keeping asking us how to make an expense report, maybe that should be priority number one in terms of the next documentation and training that we produce and provide for the end users as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tracking the measure here, making sure that we actually see the investment we have done in the ERP system. How is it when we deploy it, when we go live? How is the end users engaging with it? And making sure you really get the best return of investment on the platform that you have decided to choose on your financial systems, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess in terms of budget savings, I know that's always a big one for customers out there. The fact that you're reducing this authoring time by 60-70% has a big impact on the budget, right? And particularly keeping the training materials up to date as your cloud instance enhances and grows and matures with it as well, right?
Absolutely. I think everybody have tried to sit and build this in PowerPoint and Word, and thought now we have documented like the best thing, and everybody will understand what they need to do from tomorrow. And it took 2 weeks, and it collected the dust in the corner again, and we're kind of back to zero, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks very much for sharing that with us, Mark. I really appreciate that. I'll just open the floor up in case there's any questions from anyone on the call today. What I'll also do is I will just put in the chat. Everyone will see that there's a link in the chat there. We've created some little snippets of learning using ClickLearn on our academy. Please click on that and give you some time to absorb some of the power of what's achievable there. We do have a question from Mark though. He's saying, do we provide ongoing support or just the initial implementation? Well, there's two things there, Mark. I mean, with ClickLearn, it's a licensed product, so you'll get support for the ClickLearn product from ClickLearn. That's their product. But obviously moving forward, if you want an organization such as us to support the maintenance of your learning material, then that's absolutely something we can do. And obviously, if you want us to build the learning material for you, that's absolutely something we can do as well, using ClickLearn as a product to deliver that. So yeah, absolutely. And feel free to reach out to us to discuss that at any time. I'm just looking back on the chat to see if there's any other questions for us today. So how do you measure ROI in terms of reduced training costs? So Mark, I've got an answer for this, but I'll let you answer it first as well.
Sure. Of course, there's a lot of things that you need to look into, right? When I get this question, I always ask them like, how do you measure internally today the training and the adoption rates and so on? And nobody does, right? So it's a hard calculation. But we definitely have we actually have some information and some fact sheets around this, how you can do it, how you should think about the time you're spending today. If you have 2 colleagues using PowerPoints or Words, how much time they would actually spend on average by doing that. That's the authoring part. How much time do end users actually spend on trying to find what they're looking for when they need help? Going into Teams, going into SharePoint, having in it an email like that it's not organized and structured and everybody has to go to the same place to find it. It's a huge amount of time that your colleagues are wasting in terms of getting it, and most of the time they won't get the answers that they need either, and now they will just start creating support tickets, right? So that's just 2 short points here. I could continue on all evening in terms of return of investments, but yeah, I will let you take the other part or the other answer that you have as well here, Tony.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head with the support tickets, because I always have this debate with one of my colleagues at Oracle, who I say it's £12.75 for a full life cycle of an SR ticket. I think she thinks it's slightly more than that, but either way, it's a lot of money, and you multiply that by thousands, and that's a big cost to the business. But more importantly, if you've got an end-to-end process and the front end of the process isn't being adhered to, then that has big implications at the back end of the process. And trying to unpick that could take weeks or months of people's time to do so, and or reconciling accounts, etc. Huge amount of wasted time, and I think that the return on investment is equally another area to look at. And of course, if you've got challenging processes, this is a very good way of delivering those, blended with that instructional piece that we at Fudge deliver as well. I've got another question here. Is ClickLearn compatible with other vendor applications outside of Oracle? So that's an interesting. We spoke about Microsoft here, but what other ERP vendors does ClickLearn work on?
So we of course try to be platform agnostic, but that's a big terminology to use. We are Oracle partner. We also are Microsoft, as you could see. We can support SAP, we can support IFS. In Oracle itself, we support Diffusions, we support JD Edwards, we have the e-business suite. There are also other applications inside Oracle that we can support. We do have some generic connectors, as I showed you with the Oracle website. So kind of a web-based applications or Windows-based applications, we have built some generic connectors for, we call them. So we really want you to use this tool to make sure that you document your end-to-end process. It's not just something specifically for Oracle Fusion. Your daily work most of the time never just starts in Oracle Fusion. It starts somewhere else, it goes into Oracle, it goes out of Oracle, and it goes back into it as well, right? I think some of the conferences I've been to lately, the average person today is using around 72 different applications when they actually sit and executing their work, right? And if we have to have 72 different applications to train and learn from as well, I think this will go south very quickly.
Yeah, exactly that. So I know we've recently worked alongside you, creating some content on eBusiness Suite. We've had a number of eBusiness Suite customers that have asked us, and it works just as well on EBS as it does on Fusion. So and of course, I know how well it works on Microsoft and other ERP solutions. But how long? I've got another question here. How much time is needed to learn to develop in ClickLearn?
You could see today, so I'm not technical. I'm pretty sure the technical department is happy that I'm saying that. But it's really made simple. It's a desktop application that you install that we can set up in 5 minutes. Then you need to understand how to use ClickLearn. The average time we spend is everything from 1 to 5 hours in total. Then you know how to create projects, you know how to record, you know how to edit them, and you know how to publish it out to the end users from the ClickLearn application itself. And it does not require any technical development skills at all. It's click here, click there, do this, do that, and it will do it for you and help you to make sure that the end users has the best possibility of learning, right?
Yeah. You do, however, need to know the target system that you're training people on.
That is sometimes the challenge, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. And one last question. So I assume ClickLearn is capturing the selector on the page. How do you handle changes to selectors or label names? This is the $64 million question that we're covering in a future presentation. But just quickly, Mark, if you want to cover that one.
So as I mentioned before, we're identifying exactly as you're saying here. Let's say there is a change. So I can go in and replay all my instructions. So I could now go in and says, please replay everything that we have recorded today. ClickLearn will automatically go through it. And if there has been an update or a change in terms of the label, the names, it will fail and it will tell me where it failed. Let's say the user interface has changed. Then I will just figure it out where that field is. But if I can't find the label, if I can't find the field or the ID, then ClickLearn will stop and it will tell me where it went wrong. And then, of course, you manually have to go in and then add that new step or the new label of the process that needs to be added, and then it will be updated and continue from there.
Yeah. So watch this space. That's a future webinar we'll be coming out with. Along with that, some more real blended Oracle guided learning and ClickLearn content, so we can really bring that to life as well. So hopefully we'll see everyone there in the future. I don't see any more questions, so I think that's us done for today. Unless Mark, you want anything further to add?
No, I will thank you everybody for participating, and thank you for having me, Tony.
Yeah, thank you, Mark, and thanks everyone for joining. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now.